Let's verify all of those details. We'll throw down to Paul Evans. He's there with our Big Wave Tour Commissioner, Mike Parsons.
Heat started already, huh?
Yeah, thanks, Gigs. Down here, a lot of energy and excitement. Everyone just checking things out. It's looking super clear. Just before it got light here this morning, when you were down here, how confident were you in conditions and about going on for today?
Well, we had good information overnight. The
Porcella
buoy here jumped, and so we were confident it was going to be good. I'm really stoked to see that strong energy, though, in the swell. Surfers are really pumped. So, yeah, it was nerve-wracking for about the last 10 days. It's so hard because the winds here are so tricky to predict, and it can change so fast. But we've had good high pressure and southeast wind, which is really what you want here.
Survival and performance, where are we looking to go from our Big Wave athletes here today? What do you expect to see in terms of performances?
I think it's right in the middle. It's definitely bigger than people realize out there, but you still got to perform. The judges are going to be looking for those big, steep, heavy waves. We might even see a barrel with these conditions this amazing.
A lot more surfers in the lineup. There's not going to be any priority, so a lot of positioning is going to happen, between the surfers trying to get deep.
Billy Kemper up and riding. Reigning world champion. Takes the drop on the wedge. Has a little peep out there. Wants to cover a little bit of ground, get a clean exit back to the lineup. So opening wave early for Billy Kemper.
And that's really where a lot of the emphasis in the scoring is going to go.
Of course, Pete, you played that role as Big Wave Tour Commissioner for a number of years. Let's have a look at breakdowns here. Billy Kemper, what are we thinking here, Pete and Garrett, as we look at that first effort?
Kind of a fatter wave on the... Didn't really line up that well, but at least he got one under his belt. There's some sets out the back right now that look good. What do you think, Pete?
Well, you think about it this way, again, you know as well as anyone, when you're out there, this is the first heat of the day. This is probably some of the first big waves that these guys have surfed all year. I know that Billy went to Tahiti. He was going, backhand barrel riding. You still have to be brave and harness that fear. But this is a different deal. You're riding a whole different type of equipment.
Well, looks like a new entry here. Could be Nathan Florence. It is, in the black jersey. Nice big deep takeoff, steep. And he'll set the rail for a quick exit. So we saw Nathan Florence on the shoulder of that opening ride of Billy Kemper, but quickly back to work for Nathan Florence.
We would think that the highest high scoring, as we see there, is someone going against the grain.
Antonio Silva, I believe.
Yep. Portuguese surfer getting clipped there on the replay.
I love this. A clip. Perfect heat is 30 points. We've never actually seen that on the Big Wave Tour.
Just over 10 minutes into the first heat of the morning. Yeah, look at this big peak wedging at Nazare. That's a huge drop for Lucas Chianca, the defending event champion. The young Brazilian has found a big left wedge. Garrett, you were talking just before the show started that Lucas would be focusing in on that left, and he's gone and posted an opener, and it looks like a banger.
Look, he is one of the best out here. He's parked himself in this town at the beginning of the big wave season, so he's put in a lot of hours, whether it's 4 foot or 25, 30 foot. I mean, he's been towing out here, he's been paddle surfing, and he loves that he's a goofy footer, and so he is going to be looking at that wedge left. That's going to be a key element for him.
This guy has fun out there no matter what's going on. Every single evening he's out there, and a lot of times by alone. And then the only other person who puts in as much time, I think, is Justine.
Oh, that's a heavy takeoff.
No, that was...
Wow.
You talk about commitment. That's exactly where you want to be, is right there in the very steepest part of the wave to be taking off. And he was in... That was where you're like in the intense part of the wave. And that's why you'll see this could be probably the best number of the heat. It actually has its own little microclimate as you look in on Ian Walsh and his brother there, Cadian. The Walsh family here cruising all together. So he's got 2 brothers. Or he's got 3, but I think they're all here.
Lucas Chianca now making wave number 2 of the encounter.
He's in the corner. That's first peak, huh?
Yep.
He's come from deep here. Still some wall on the inside. How's he going to approach this? He'll exit. We saw him floating on the lip last year, Pete, at the last event.
Yeah, I think at this point, you're in heat 1. And again, like up on the first point.
Look at that. Oh.
So he's already got the best score of this heat, and now picks up his second wave. He's definitely going to go into the lead. Only needs a 1.58. You would say this is no problem. It's going to be that. Not as critical as his first wave, so it'll be under that. His first wave came in around, what, a 6.13, I think it was.
It's the most impressive thing I've saw? His surfing's out of this world amazing, but when the water safety comes in and gets him perfectly, I mean, here in Nazare, it's all about your team, and right now they have the best water safety team, and Alamo Morizias comes in and grabs him right. You see the ski coming in behind? It is so essential.
Let's have a
now
look
it's on
and
the
see
head.
if Nathan gets trapped there.
See, now the guy's not there for him, so now he's kind of like that. So here it comes. Alamo's coming around the corner.
As you see, that was Nathan. Knows how important it is to get those two waves. He had an okay start. He was in the lead, and that was close to a two-wave hold down. He literally came up right before our wave.
Lucas, back to the live action. Yeah, Lucas Chianca. And opt for a right this time.
Well, maybe get a little bear on here. Yes, come on, baby.
Inside.
Wobble.
Little wobble here for Lucas. Nonetheless, keeping a work rate going here. Pretty much halfway through the heat, 45-minute heats. A little over 22 still to go.
That's not a claim, folks.
That's water safety.
Yeah, no, it's come get me before a 20-footer.
And look at the current going back out. You see him catching the backwash? He was just riding the backwash back out. First time on the mic with the boys, so I'm just trying to get the hang of it. But thank you guys for making it so easy on me.
Well,
this is so fun.
A ton of insight, you know, especially, you know, you've been charging big waves your whole life. And as we watch that last one there, you start to look at performance. You know, Lucas, again, there is maneuvers, part of the criteria here in big wave surfing. So it's good to see that someone's trying to do that.
All the chop on that face, and he still went for it. I guess there was something bigger behind or something. Good.
You never know what's going on in the heads of these guys. But again, I think that there is a lot of that where you feel like there's going to be a bigger set on the back. You don't want to take those big ones on your head. Invitees that are from this region.
Here we go.
Well, following the action.
Oh, back out there. Yeah.
Antonio Silva, the Portuguese, are erupting. So getting over that little
cramp. Had to be a cramp.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out from him if he is able to get through this heat. But he's smart, too. You know, he's going to ride these waves all the way to that inside, get out of that area that he is dealing with. That, you know he was cartwheeling. And Antonio finding a little right. No boots.
Yeah, the water's not that cold. It's 60 degrees, give or take. And the air is about exactly the same. We actually have a beautiful day here today. It looks like it's getting cleaner, more beautiful.
End of the lineup.
He's waiting for the long bomb, the 10-point ride. That's all he needs is one, right?
Here's Porcella, and it's, you know, in as much energy that is focusing right there. Say enough about them and how important it is. Here, finally, Greg's getting one.
We're almost on cue. Greg Long slides into a peak that's got a little bit of broken water on it. So Greg might be a touch disappointed with his investment of time for what he'll reap on that particular wave. Plenty of time still for Greg Long, 18 minutes to go. Now 35 years old, Greg Long, two-time Big Wave Tour champion. What are you thinking of that as a bit of a soft shoulder, Pete?
Well, you know,
I say that with respect, of course.
But he knows that, you know, and it's more about catching a wave and getting again, the nerves out. And if he most likely would have been looking at that going, oh, I want to go left, because the energy was definitely focusing the opposite direction, you know, knowing full well that you got to make your waves too.
The wave got split in half, and you got to put some time in here to know which ones are going to be good. And I don't think Greg has a lot of time under his belt here.
Nathan Florence with that deep bowl effort there, delayed that bottom turn somewhat.
He's training me. I'm lucky enough to be able to train with him.
And that's the same thing right there. I mean, he is ultra fit, as we see again. Yeah. Lucas sitting on the peak by himself over there at first peak, and no worries for him. I mean, again, very comfortable. He's waiting on a score, but look at, see how easy it is. Those are 3 strokes, and air drops into it.
No.
He has that left on auto dial, guys.
That was incredible. That's when everything's getting mobilized. So the crew here from the World Surf League in Portugal, you know, Francisco Spinola.
Billy, this is a good one. Come on, baby. Come on.
Billy Kemper, deep. Just too deep. Doesn't get to set that inside toe rail. He'll get mowed down by a big piece of Nazare white water. Plenty of time still for Billy, 13 minutes to go. Of course, 2 other exciting stops make up the Big Wave World Tour in 2018-19 season. Jaws and Mavericks part of it. So these guys have done their training.
See, that one would have gave him a good score. Look at that little ball.
Yeah, and had a good wall ahead. Following live action again. Nathan Florence switches it up now. 2 right-handers, now has a go on the backhand on the left.
Oh, no. And he's in. There's a set behind this, so keep an eye on him.
You know what I'm seeing? It looks like they're on their heavier big wave boards, like kind of like...
Oh, no.
Nathan Florence getting mowed down. Chianca. Airdrop.
You can see his board, it looks light and responsive, and everybody else is on heavier boards. There's no wind today. You can be on a light board.
Yeah, amazingly, that's Lucas Chianca's 5th wave of the encounter, yeah, guys.
And he really hasn't gotten caught yet, you know, and so his energy level's still super high. He's young. He's an Energizer bunny. And, again, he's just having a ball. He's going to win. You know, he's going to make this heat most likely. With you looking at the time wise, and on another bomb, and this time going right, so he can do it both directions, going left and right.
That wave was beautiful. If he could have been behind that peak, it would have been a full barrel, but he made the best of it from where he was. But you can see how responsive his board is. Look, he just kicks it, and he's turning right after this. It's like not too. You can see it's light, a lighter board.
One of with Lucas, you look at him, and it's his positioning. He is so keen because he's had so much time in the water here that he knows where to be. And literally, it's 3 paddle. And here is Greg Long, and port way for him.
Oh,
That's a
this
good
one looks beautiful.
Beauty.
Lovely bowl. Greg sets the line. Just eases it out in the bottom turn. A little in and out. Now establishing a second scoring ride with 10 minutes to go. See, that one a little better than his first wave.
Yeah, that's a score. They're giving him a score for that.
So we do have a lot of waves being ridden. So, I mean, you think about, again, watching Greg, is that today's action is, you know, the swell size is, you know, there's still massive waves out there.
Who is this? No, that is Porcella.
This is
Lucas
Chianca.
No way.
Watch out! Like, he's
Barrel
doing
time.
turns.
Little layback.
Watch his barrel. Pull in. Oh!
Well, big wave count for Lucas Chianca. Judges
he's still
playing
there.
catch up.
That was crazy.
That was 6th ride of the heat, guys.
And they're all good scores. You know, each wave is you know, he would be, you know, probably leading or still in the top 3, even with his 2 backup score. He is so confident and he's on fire that it's a big day. 3 big wave heats is a lot of energy depleted here.
Who are you picking, Pete?
Oh, right here. I mean, I said it this morning. Lucas Chianca is going to be a defending champion. Again, how much time he's spent here, how confident he is. He's actually won the last 2 big wave events he's been in, which aren't part of the big wave tour, but he won this event last year, but then he also won in Brazil. This area here, very consistent for big waves, consistently good conditions. So again, here we are in November, and we're running our first event, so Mike Parsons should be pretty happy about that.
Billy Kemper will be happy about this one as well. Sloping wall ahead for Billy Kemper, the reigning big wave champion. Billy will just glide that one through, sitting down in 4th position prior to that takeoff. Judges are playing catch up on a couple of scores, particularly numbers for Lucas Chianca. Great work from Billy Kemper. Of course, a 4th at Porto Escondido in the previous big wave tour season. Let's have a look at the replay of this, Pete. Late drop.
Very critical wave here. Again, he needs a 4.30. You know, that's in the average range, and it is right there. It could easily be the score. It could easily not be the score. So he is counting on this one being the number because it looks like he's going to ride it all the way to the inside into the shore break. But we still have numbers still to come in, too. I mean, we've got Chianca still has some scores to come in. Nate Florence has some waves. As we watch again, that whitewater lands almost on top of him.
Nice drop, little turn, coming around. Yeah, the wave is not offering what he wants, but it could be the score he's looking for. It could just be a 4.
Well, that's about to change.
Greg Long. Oh, the long bomb. He's got it. This is a good wave. It's a long wall coming around. See a little turn right here. Come on, Greg. That's definitely a Jaws board right there. But what do you think? Kind of heavier or medium weight?
Yeah, no, he's his equipment. He's been tuned in with Christensen, and you know, they've been working together for a very long time. So you would have to say that Greg is very confident in his equipment. At this point, though, he is looking for a 6.34. I don't know if there's enough in that. You know, you have to have a pretty late drop. If you already look at comparison-wise, again, there's the replay of that last one.
Little air drop. I mean, that's going to be right on the border of a 6. Right? If I say 5, 6, somewhere right in there.
Well, he needs a 6.34. I feel like it's probably going to come on just a bit under if you look at comparisons of what we've seen already.
Well, Nathan Florence sitting in that 3rd place, guys, with a pair of 5s. How critical was this drop?
It started off pretty critical, and then the wave kind of flattened out, unfortunately. Yeah. So I feel like that's where it failed him a little bit.
Couple more sets on the horizon. This is going to be a really good finish. Come on. 10 seconds. Somebody going to get this one?
Well, judges working on that number for Greg Long. Let's see if we get any more rides. Clock is going to count down.
Here we go.
And we are going to wrap up the first heat here at the Nazare Challenge. We're waiting for that score. We'll see if it's enough for Greg Long to continue in the draw here. Beautiful conditions for the morning. Stay with us. The World Surf League's Big Wave Tour continues.